It's time for Outdoors Bound with George Noliff. Sponsored by Kubota of Lynchburg and Tony's RV.
A wildfire has scorched nearly 2,000 acres of forest in the Big Levels region of the Blue Ridge. The fire in the area where Augusta, Rockbridge, and Amherst counties meet is nowhere near under control. Tonight, there's concern for wildlife in the Big Levels, especially for one tiny creature. WFXR's George Noliff has the story.
The wildfire's been raging for days, charring more than 1,000 acres in the Big Levels area of the Blue Ridge. Those flames could be having a big impact on a tiny creature found only on a few select mountaintops in Virginia.
Yeah, he's not slowing down.
We're talking about the Big Level salamander.
Big Level salamander is one of those species that we refer to as the sky islands. They occupy these high elevation areas. They're very isolated on these mountaintops. So that makes them very vulnerable to things like climate change and habitat change.
That's Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources state herpetologist J.D. Klepfer from a story we did on this unique species a few years ago.
I think I got one.
Got one, maybe? So they are watched, studied, and protected when necessary. And you could make the argument that it's always necessary. The range of the Big Level salamander is smack in the middle of the fire zone. The good news is this time of year, they're way underground, away from the fire. The bad news, some of the surface habitat they depend on other times of the year, well, it could be destroyed, and they got nowhere else to go.
They can't go up, obviously, and because of their environmental constraints for their physiology, they can't exactly move down a mountain, across the valley, and back up another mountain. So they are geographically isolated.
Yep, this is the Big Levels.
Despite what looks like a tough situation, Klepfer and other wildlife experts say these animals have evolved to deal with fires, that wildfires can even improve habitat when it regrows. While there may be a short-term drop in salamander numbers, in the long haul, their numbers could rebound with rejuvenated habitat in the future. But the actual impact is yet to be seen.
Might have eggs soon. I'll probably put her back, okay, in case that's the situation.
Sure. George Noliff, WFXR News, Outdoors Bound.
And George tells us, though the Big Levels salamander is tiny, it has a huge impact on the environment. The species consumes tons of insects, keeping their numbers under control, while also serving as a vital food source for birds, bears, and other wildlife.